for Sasha and the cat. I never know when these things are on. I feel like this starts the same way.
Or if they can, like, hear us well or anything. Oh, well. Let's go with it.
I guess we'll know shortly. So, yeah, we're here together. Look at us, Sasha and the cat.
This is one of the kits and pieces Slay All Day set. We did the photo shoot for it last night.
It was kind of crazy.
But we're obsessed with the background, so we've kept it.
It was kind of crazy. We're taking a little break now. Oh, we are live.
Yeah.
Okay. Taking a little break now. Yesterday we went pretty late, but the photos came out super Beyonce. So this is like the Slay All Day kit, and it's supposed to be kind of like Sasha Fierce. Well, Sasha. But Sasha Fierce.
Beyonce Sasha Fierce.
Beyonce Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
But also this Sasha Fierce. I mean, look at it. When you see the photos, it's going to be amazing. So, yeah, and then we just finished No Place Like Home, which is like the classic white and gold Christmas. And today we're going to do a little bit of like cleanup and finishing shots for these two kits, but then we're going to set up a third kit, which is Merry and Bright, which is kind of like a red pom-pom theme party.
So there's 3 Christmas kits, yeah. So that's why I'm here, so we can shoot the photos for all 3 kits, so she can get them up and running on our website.
And definitely, if you've ever had questions on product photography or setting up shoots,
now's the time.
Now's the time. We definitely have been doing shoots, but we learned a lot from this shoot, especially in like a tight space.
Yes.
We're in my garage, our garage right now. Not our garage, but our garage.
We're very transparent too about the back end of running a business. So that includes letting you guys know that we're not in some like paid studio renting space, which you could also do.
Which is recommended, honestly.
I mean, truthfully, the main thing we've been reminded of, or that we've learned, is that ideally you have a team to kind of do this stuff. Especially if there's like models involved, it's not just a product shoot, because there's like, I don't know, hairstylists, makeup artists, there could be the photographer that might specialize in just doing models, or another one that might specialize in business stuff. The setting up takes a lot of time.
The setting up is 90% of the time.
And it's like your brain is now like divided into all these different parts, because like you're thinking of like, is the setup right? What's missing? What's not? Is it conveying the message correctly? Like as the creative or as the business person.
Right.
But then you're also in the shots, so then you're like, wait, how do I look? How is this coming off? Like, what angle is this at? Like,
which, it sounds stupid, but like the first thing people look at when they see the photo is, wow, this is a cool photo. Oh, her hair's messed up.
Yeah.
And you're like, you spent hours trying to put that together, and you're gonna tell me my hair looks messed up? Why didn't anyone tell me my hair looks messed up?
Or like little things, like yesterday we would have like a pillow on top of our lap, and like the tag was showing, and like we used a self-timer for most of them, so that helped us have like a ghost photographer in a sense. But ideally someone would be behind the camera being like, move this, do that, change that. But we are trying to do kind of all of it. So setup, breakdown, shot lists, lighting, photography, videography here and there, social media marketing, like throughout the shoot, and then it's a lot. So it's taken a lot of time, but I feel like we're getting good results with it.
It was definitely worth, like yesterday, we just spent a ton of time choosing an outfit.
Yeah.
For this kit. And then, I mean, it was already like 11 o'clock at night. And we're like, what? Part of us wanted to, well, one of us just wanted to be like, whatever, let's just not do it tonight. But then the other one wanted to just do it. So then, together though, we still had to like pick a good look, because otherwise we're gonna look stupid. I mean, it's not that easy to just have a Beyonce vibe.
Yeah.
Especially for us, we're not very, cool.
We are, but we have to channel it, We like to be humble.
I was like, oh, someone posted!
No, I'm in it.
Me too.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for
I'm being more active this time.
So yes, anyone watching, feel free to ask us any business questions, any entrepreneurship questions, side hustle questions, questions about photo shoots, and yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So anyway, last night we were doing this photo shoot, and we must have switched outfits. Luckily, we're kind of similar sizes, but we really wanted, this has a very, oh, that's on your side. That's misleading.
Oh, I know. It's like opposite. I know.
Where's the purple tree?
I thought of that too.
So, like, this purple tree is very velvety. So our outfits, we were like, we really wanted to use velvet, but then we had like a fall colored velvet shirt, and then we could have just done it, but I'm really glad. If you guys will see the photos, on the Kits and Pieces, and probably somehow we can incorporate it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. And if anyone has any suggestions or ideas related to product shoots or design, and just kind of like, I don't know, it'd be cool if there was like just a step-by-step of like what you look for in a shot before you start shooting.
Yes.
Because like there were many times where we would think it looked complete once we looked at it through the camera, but then once we were in it, we'd move stuff around or kind of like, play in the shoot, and then we'd have to kind of like regroup.
Yeah, every so often.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you're doing a self-shoot, definitely recommend the interval timer or time-lapse.
Yes, which not all cameras have.
Yes. Your
Key
phone
thing to know.
does not have that.
No, definitely doesn't.
I wonder if there's an app for your phone.
Which, by the way, just because I like cameras and stuff, we chose a Lumix. We were working with the Canon Rebel, and it didn't have an interval timer on it, and then we had a Lumix camera, so that's what we ended up choosing, and it's honestly amazing. Like, I've only used Nikon, she's had Canon, but this is like a whole other, it's a game changer.
It is honestly way better for being a cheaper camera.
Yeah.
The quality of the images are good, but it also has a lot of functions. Very versatile, so we use that for live streaming a lot. Not right now, but we do live stream concerts, so it's a nice quality camera because the battery life is good because it just stays on without shutting off.
And the concert live stream is through East Ave
Studio with on Twitch on Wednesdays. But yeah, so that requires a few cameras, but one of the cameras is Lumix just because it is so great for live streaming. But then we needed an interval timer because it was getting ridiculous with the Canon when it would be a countdown for 10 seconds and it would take like 10 shots like a burst. Hello?
Which is like, who uses that? Like, that's so weird to me. I have a Nikon, but I didn't bring it, which I should have. But it's not really good. I don't know. I don't like it for product and like photo shoot stuff.
Yeah, I like it for like
the color's weird. Yeah, it's better for landscapes. But it has an interval timer, and I love it. You can literally choose how many seconds go between each photo, and just like the Lumix was a little funky because it's considered a time lapse. So it would take the photos with the intervals, but then at the end it would ask if you want to create a video. So you would just hit no, and then you have the whole segment of all the photos.
Yeah. So
just a different like term, but definitely ideal if you're kind of just doing a photo shoot on a budget and can't pay, every separate person for everything involved in a photo shoot. It's definitely helpful.
We also had a shot list.
Yes.
Which I think is helpful in terms of just, for me, it's like I need to know what items I'm going to use to make sure I photograph everything in the kit. But also, I feel like it keeps us on the same page, kind of like what is even in this.
Yeah.
And, you get so lost with like, okay, she's working on the camera stuff, I'm doing my hair, and then so much time can pass by, and you're like, okay, I need this. Like, let's regroup. Where are we at right now?
Time management, man. Ugh.
It really is a thing.
But the shot list helped, and even just seeing what items were needed, just to make sure she had all the items she needed for the kit, and to make sure it was like displayed properly. But then also the extra props to make it pop a little more, just so it's like a complete photo shoot.
Yeah.
And also just bringing extra stuff, like let's say you're not doing a photo shoot at your home, but you're going somewhere else, like just bring extra things, because you never know what you might need to throw in there.
Right.
To make it look a little different. or a little better.
Right, like even for example, like this kit, if you had like an extra pair of black shoes, an extra black scarf, a purple scarf, like anything would have helped, would have added to this if it was in the same color. And
one example is like this stool we're sitting on it's like navy blue suede or velvet actually. Yeah, velvet. Yeah. But then like we added this on top of it, which is this gold velvet thing, like a trail. And we have a purple satiny river below us, which you can kind of see through here. It just like runs down.
it's very interesting.
And then we also made cupcakes featuring Kits and Pieces cupcake toppers, which are top notch. So yeah.
And look at that frosting detail.
Oh yes, frosting by me. I was actually
Like
very
that looks
proud
like
of
it could
myself
be in
for
a
this.
bakery.
Honestly, I used to watch how they like did ice cream at like Dairy Queen and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's how they make it look so perfect. Yes, they go outside to the inn, and then they do a little pump at the bottom, like at the top, just to make it sit. Yeah, and then it's like, boop. So
That's the way. That's the way. But like even the cupcakes, it was like we made the cupcakes and I had to make an extra batch of cupcakes because one of the batches came out sideways, and I mean I'm not a baker, you know, so
yeah, that's another example of like someone else would have maybe set up the food
or
and
could
like,
have
whatever.
outsourced.
Yeah.
So I definitely in the future would want to outsource some of the things like the cupcakes because I feel like it would be a nice collaboration with other people, but also, you know, some of us are on a budget.
Yes.
And I already got all of this party kid stuff, so we'll see. Yeah, you know, people are always tagging like photo shoot, like hair by Stacy,
Right.
makeup by Ulta or whatever.
Yeah. Which helps too for like networking, because then you're just reaching out to different people and communities and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just more expensive. So.
One of our favorite things, lighting wise, that we use. So we're in the garage and it gets light, but it's obviously not photo shoot lighting. But we have a ring light.
Yeah.
And that honestly was life changing.
Yeah, I think I want to get one. I feel like it's good just to have, even if it's just for social media, like just for.
It's great because
whatever.
it's only like $100, and you can adjust the brightness and the warmth of the light. You can attach your camera on the middle. You didn't have the attachment, but you can
Oh, cool.
put your camera right on there. I mean, you guys have probably seen that maybe for like a photo booth.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in one of those ring light photo booths?
That's true.
But it really is just amazing because normally I have these like two other old school photo shoot lights, but then I have to get like other white things to reflect because it's just not enough light.
Yeah.
But that thing is honestly
I know.
kind of amazing.
I think that helped a lot.
And you could adjust the height, and we have two of those at the East Ave studio, and like it's kind of great, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that's the photo shoot scoop. And we've also been, this is something new that I'm trying, is normally I just take a picture of the kit, which is also there to my left, which seems like it's on my right, but it's on my left, of just like the table setup, table display with this would be in the background, but it would be a tabletop display, which I'm still gonna have, but this was the first time we had two separate displays where this is like a lifestyle shoot here.
Right.
And then it's like
The
a full
tabletop.
tabletop product shoot. And then there's an aerial view. So there's 3 different types of views here. But yesterday we literally took like 1,000 photos for one kit.
But this is also because of the interval timer. Like it was just.
It keeps going.
Yeah.
But it is fun to look back. You kind of like see it
Yeah,
in
it is.
time and
Yeah.
and it's helpful like when I've taken it on my own. It's like I think I look one way in terms of like let's say I'm doing this.
Right.
Right? But then no one's here to tell me about this.
Right.
Or that if I do this, I'm covering day.
Right.
So I gotta do, I don't know why I would stand like that, but I would have to do this or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even little things like that where, I mean, I was even holding the cupcake and the topper was sideways.
Mhm.
It was a great photo.
Right.
Topper sideways. Anyway.
Yeah.
So moving on to some topics of the day. Today.
Yeah, what did I put in there?
Ooh, so
Oh, we already did the photo shoot.
I kind of like the efficiency talk, though, even if it's just efficiency in general.
We've talked about efficiency. It's a big thing.
And, well, we talked about time management, but I think
Yes.
efficiency is worth, for me, it's worth the extra maybe 5 minutes in the beginning to plan out.
With efficiency, I think you gotta look at the big picture.
Yes.
So this happened in the shoot because we were originally using the Canon Rebel, which we've used in the past when we needed an interval timer but didn't have one. We've still used that one, and it would do the 10-second thing, so it's kind of just a self-timer. And then you kind of just do poses for 10 shots to see which one looks good. Which, if that's all you got, that's all you got. But I think she had mentioned that they had a second camera, and I refused to go through doing that the whole way through because it just took so much time. Like, when you look at the full picture, you think of how much time you spent on each element, and I felt like we would have spent a lot of time just like doing 10 shots, going back, restarting it, doing another 10, going back and hitting it again, like over and over and over and over, and not knowing like what they looked like or anything. So we looked into the other camera, and that helped a lot because big picture wise, I think it saved us a lot of time.
Yeah. Especially like I was used to doing that 10-second timer thing, and I got away with it because it was just in front of a kit, and it was just me just posing.
Yeah.
But now it's a full lifestyle. I mean, we're sitting down, now we gotta get up, go click it again, sit back down, try to be creative in 10 shots, and go back again. Like, it's different than me just standing there and going click,
Yeah.
click. So
anything you can do, I think, to increase efficiency is a big deal. Or sometimes, like, you both doing the same task isn't helpful. Like,
right.
kind of just divvying it up. So I think there was, like, at one point where I was doing something with the camera, and Kat was like, I want to help you, but I'd rather you just stay with the technical stuff, and I'll stay with the creative stuff. That way my brain isn't like...
Right, because then you naturally want to do everything, and you want to help
Yeah.
each other with everything, but then you get exhausted. You also have to, it's like a long time, I mean, anyone who's in film, TV, cameras, they know, photography, it's a long hours, and you, by the end, the quality still needs to be as good as the beginning, especially for us, the end is finally taking the photos.
Yeah.
Because the beginning is just all setting up. So,
Which is worth putting in the time for.
yeah, and it's
so
not,
much,
yeah.
like, way worth it.
I mean, even at the end when we did a run through of a song, like a music video shoot, and I was so tired, but I could already feel like I wasn't trying my best because I was so tired, and it's like, it's hard to just be like, oh, next, because it's not like a paper that you turn in.
Right.
Like, your face is in it,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, with photography, photos are timeless. You can have them forever. And I think that's why it's also worth putting the time in, because whatever shots we did yesterday, which may have taken all day, let's say, we'll have for years. I mean, it's kind of just an infinite, like, time doesn't fully apply to photos, especially if they look like really good quality, or they convey the message properly, or they're like a strong shot. I mean, you could do 100 other shots, but that one shot that may have been 5 years ago is probably still going to win because it's just a strong photo. So I think it's also worth it to put in the time because you think long term it's going to last for years, and it's only one day that you had to do the whole thing.
It's
for.
an extra hour.
Yeah. I mean, there's shots for Botanobites that I did when I first started the business that even after I did other shots or photo shoots even, like, those were still just stronger shots or conveyed the message better or whatever it was. And because, like, the product looked the same and everything was okay, they were able to be used multiple times or in different settings. So I think it's worth it to just put in the time and, like, really commit to it so that you're gonna have photos forever. So.
Right. And it's like, are we ever going to be in this space again where we're helping each other and we're decked out this much?
Yeah.
Like I'm never, even if I'm doing a Slay All Day thing again, it's either going to be someone else posting a kit they have, or I might just have the letters, or I might just talk about the tassel garland, but to have this whole look, it's work.
Yeah. And I think, too, like, we made it a little different because so far Kat's done a bunch of these by herself. But I felt like there's so many different components, I think, to posting photography for a business, and I just feel like a lot of people just like people. So they like to see hands or some sort of face in it or some sort of like body, or like just, it makes it more real for them because it can like allow them to envision it a little more like in their own space. So I think our focus for this photo shoot was a little different too, because we did more lifestyle shots than we've ever done, or that you've ever done.
Yeah.
And then even with the product shoot that we're gonna do, where it's like the table setting and everything else on the wall, we're also gonna include more like shots of hands and like things that are more with the products. So I don't know. I think that's also a good thing to think about with photo shoots. I know we're kind of getting off topic, but people like people.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, even in the post-production part, like this is leading into that, where you're editing your photos in whatever way you do it. We're a big fan of Lightroom and presets, just for convenience of running your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't have Lightroom, we highly recommend it.
Oh my god, we should show like the before and after.
We're gonna show you a before and after. I don't know how well you can
see it through the screen, but it's pretty phenomenal. Like pretty intense.
I'm gonna show this one.
That's the before?
This is the before. Which is already great. First of all, the before was already great, I think. It doesn't come off as an like edited photo because it's not. But the staging of it was already great, you know? The lighting was great, the colors were great. So all we wanted to do was add like a pop of like, boom, magazine photo, right? So we got, oh, my screen's cracked. Maybe it's better.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, let me try to pull mine up.
There.
I don't think, oh, I have the original. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
That's the original, which is kind of blurred, but whatever. Look at like the color and the lighting mostly. And then
Red River's great.
This was the edited version. So it just looks a little more bolder and a little more like defined.
It looks like a New Year's party.
Again on here.
I believe that's where we're sitting right now. It's so ridiculous.
And this one too. Let me just
I love that one.
No. No, this was the original.
Oh.
And that's the edited. So this is another example where that's the original, and then the edited version was this, which is just so much more definition, and it just, oh my gosh, it looks like we had a makeup artist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like doing the makeup, and it's just amazing. So that's with Lightroom?
Lightroom.
Okay.
And get some presets. Everyone feels like, oh, I need to be sitting here editing my photos to be perfect and crisp. Like, no, figure out your style, figure out a preset you like, and just apply the preset.
Yeah.
So you can move on with the 80,000 other things you have to do.
Which is
to get your
efficient.
things. Yes, efficiency. Like, get over yourself. You don't need to be a master photo editor. No one's going to be there like, wow. You know, you're not trying to get people to be like, wow, look at your photos, they're amazing. You want people to be like, wow, that's so cool, based on the photo. Let me go buy it.
Yes. That is the goal.
That is the goal, not, oh my gosh, look at the best photo I've ever seen, like, next. Like, no.
Or sometimes you have to think of what audience you're appealing to. So I think that's why we kind of did that filter for this scene, because we felt like it matched the vibe and the energy of it, and then also like maybe the type of people that might be interested in this type of kit.
Right.
Like we wouldn't have done the same filter for like No Place Like Home,
right,
because it's a more classical setting and it's a more laid back kind of like family-ish different thing.
And it's incredible. There's so many presets.
Yeah, there's a lot. So you could have different presets for whatever like theme you're speaking to, or
right,
whatever you're doing.
There's like literally like Winter Wonderland preset,
but there's like 10.
And then 10 within that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, when you look, like for example, that's highlighting gold and white and green. Like people make presets that highlight golds and whites and greens, like as if you're in a wintry forest.
Yeah. Like
Narnia, and then it just makes your photo way better. So I was using this one called Men's Lifestyle because it was very like high definition, like very like clarity is raised, definition's raised, black point is raised, very like edgy, you know.
Edgy, yeah.
Like GQ type of preset. which I thought would be great because it's very like boom Beyonce.
Yes.
So,
that helps with efficiency. Just to get. I feel like I got off topic.
We have a lot to say about the photo shoots, so
it's relevant because we've been doing it all weekend. So I wanted to touch on this. So this relates more to when, I guess, with Upwork clients or people that you're doing stuff for as a freelancer. Adobe programs are obviously what people normally use, so Photoshop, InDesign, all that jazz. But I've noticed Canva has so many templates and things that seem pretty easy to use because you can just kind of fill in the content and it already looks amazing. So I didn't know, like, I wanted to know your thoughts on this, where, do you think sometimes it's okay or best to just use Canva instead of, like, creating something from scratch through another program, like when you're doing something for a client? Like, do you feel like it's all the same? Like,
I think for a client.
For a client, where, like, they don't have necessarily a background in design, they're not going to really know the difference. But as long as it looks good and does the right thing.
It depends on what we're making. Or maybe we use it as a template and we
modify it.
Yeah, modify it. Honestly, I love Canva.
I know. I didn't realize it had so many things. Like, so many options of things and templates.
If you have Canva Pro, you can do a little bit more.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Canva Pro. Sorry,
I just had bacon, so...
Eat your bacon. She hasn't had breakfast yet. So.
It's like stuck in my throat.
Oh, I have water. I have water. I have coffee.
No, I don't want your heebie-jeebies.
I had a migraine this weekend, so of course, naturally, it's like COVID, just because.
But then I'm like, oh, let me just keep your Carmex.
Oh yeah.
So.
But yeah, I was looking into Canva Pro, because I recently found out my MacBook Air can't supply enough energy for InDesign. So I've been trying to see what other resources I could put together to complete a project for someone. Bless you. Bless you. So I looked into Canva Pro and I was thinking of doing something like that for creating like a course outline or just some sort of generic like document-based thing. So I might just go ahead and use that for...
There's also Procreate.
That's such a weird name.
I know.
I mean, it's
Is it
clever.
Procreate? Why should you call it that? It's not even that. So, I always click on the weather because it's blue. I always click on the weather app instead of the app store. So Procreate is kind of like an easier version of like Adobe. So it's not Pocket. I mean, it's the main one. If you
on your desktop.
I think it's on your iPad.
Oh, okay.
You can like, it's like an easier version of like I would say Illustrator.
Okay.
/ Photoshop.
Yeah. Procreate.
That's one. And because Canva's more InDesign.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think between Canva Pro and Procreate,
you wouldn't need
Adobe.
Yeah.
But for the price, I guess my
Yeah.
thing is like for the price, like depending on whatever deal you got, but let's say full price at $30 a month or whatever it is a month, $40 a month.
I don't know.
Okay, you get the whole Adobe suite. So if you're doing Lightroom, video,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, but I've also done this where if I like the background in Canva, I would like delete all the words or whatever,
Yeah.
download it, then put that on InDesign, and then add my own fonts or whatever to it. You know what I mean?
Can I
You
do
don't
that
have to-
through Photoshop? I can kind of do it.
Oh yeah, you can do
Okay.
it in Photoshop too.
Alright, that's
Just
what
like
I
drag it in as an image.
Yes,
You know?
yes. That was what I was thinking.
Just to kind of get you started.
Yeah, and I feel like it helps to kind of boost your creative juices because you already see like designed templates.
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh, that would go perfect with what I'm thinking of, but then you can kind of build on it after that. So I feel like it helps as a designer to just
Right.
as like a reference point.
I mean, I look at it too, even for inspiration. I mean, I look at Pinterest, whatever, but I look at Canva too. And if you do Canva Pro, though, you can design on Canva Pro and like save with transparent background, which you can't do a regular.
Right. That's true.
Same.
Okay.
So it definitely has its pros. Yeah. I don't know. Now this year, I've been very about
I don't know, Bobby, that's an awkward statement to put in the chat.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Hopefully you weren't banned for anything terrible, because you will get banned from ours if that's the case.
Yeah.
But we are talking about business and entrepreneurship and side hustles and creativity and
yeah, if you have any side hustle questions, main business questions.
Yeah. What else did we want to say? So, okay, Canva, Adobe, kind of similar.
Yes. So yeah, I'm all about like efficiency again. I feel like this is
Yeah.
our efficiency stream today, even though it says slay all day, as if this is how you slay your day by being efficient.
Yes.
I feel like Chris's dad, that's like his middle name, is Don Efficient Croce.
Yes.
Because it's just like, if it's not efficient, I feel like he immediately takes a step back and he's like, let's rewire.
Yeah.
Let's regroup here. What is happening?
Which I think you should always do when you're doing anything.
Yeah. Efficiency is not the same as time management. It's similar.
Right. It's involved, for
Yeah.
sure, but it is different. Yeah.
You could be like, I'm going to spend 4 hours doing this and then 2 hours doing that, and you are effectively time managing yourself, but you're not being efficient. Why are you spending 4 hours doing that? You could have spent 1,
Yeah.
because you could have had a Lumix doing an interval timer instead of 10 burst shots on a Canon.
Yeah.
So moving on from that was, yeah, Canva. I like Canva because it's efficient now. I do find, oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were clicking that. And then moving on to the same thing, because we were going to do this for our YouTube. So our YouTube channel we're also developing, just to have it there as a resource for people. Again, this is like a chill environment. We're not trying to be like, oh, we're experts on entrepreneurship, because we're not. We're just also figuring our way out through this world. We wanted to give a place for people to ask questions, because maybe you feel stupid asking someone if, you know, your idea is good. And not that we are any kind of, you know, business expert to be like, yeah, your idea is great. But
it helps to discuss it with other creatives.
Correct.
That's
and
what we're here for.
Maybe it's easier to start and test out and cheaper than you think it is, instead of maybe you go to a business expert that's like, well, you need to have $100,000 and invest on A, B, C right now to get it started. And like, you're like, bro,
Yeah.
I work at Publix, like, I just have this great idea. I'm not trying to like
Well, on that note too, we often find in conversations with other people that reach out to us regarding their ideas or side hustles or whatever you want to call it, they oftentimes don't know where to start or what to prioritize. So I think that's also something that we are interested in and passionate about, is kind of just like managing the project. And we call it a project because it's still in that idea phase or developing phase. Because there are a lot of steps involved. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. And it's like a full-time thing, even though you may not make money from it initially. So it's a lot.
Right. And even that part of the community sense, like, we want to be here because there are going to be so many times. I mean, we even call each other all the time where it's like, I just like don't know where to go with this today, or like, I just like, I haven't sold anything recently. Oh my God, like, should I just give up?
Yeah.
And it's rough. It's rough.
So if you do have a community, or if you have people you can reach out to, do it. I mean, that was like probably the biggest thing that helped me, is just having someone else that was business minded or like had experience with business and entrepreneurship. But also just like, yeah, those days where you're just like, why did I do this?
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Like,
well, yes, short anecdote here on that, is Chris is my human. In the garage that we're sitting in belongs to Chris. So thank you. Venue rental. He started the live stream concert with East Ave Studio, right? And he was looking into he didn't know how to live stream. And we just say that he didn't know anything about cameras. I mean, he has all these cameras now, but he put a good amount of research into it. But he didn't know there's cameras, and then there's live streaming it. There's getting it out, you know, streamed without it stopping, which is why we're on.
Consistently.
Yes, consistently, just having the whole thing with overlays, having multiple angles, good audio, which is huge for concerts, obviously. And then we were here sitting, and he was like stuck, and he just didn't know. And he was like, oh, well, I was like, why don't we watch some other people's live streams to maybe kind of get ideas, like maybe they're doing something specific. I was like, he plays at a church on Sundays, and they live stream it. So I'm like, why don't you go on Sunday and look at their setup?
Yeah.
But then he brought up, he's like, oh, well, my one friend, Chris, has a bunch of live streams. So we were going to go look at his videos. And I'm like, you have a friend, also with the same name, that does live streams? Like, why haven't you called him to be like, what do I do? So then he called him, and they're like, they literally just talked for like 40 minutes about all the products to get. I mean, that just saved him hours.
Yes, it saves a lot of time.
Like, why don't you just ask the person that you know that does it? They would be happy to help.
Yeah.
More often than not, people want to help you.
Yes. That is one thing, that's like a golden nugget. Because I feel like in the beginning, I don't know, at least I felt like this, where I felt like annoying or weird if I was like, hey, I'm starting my own business,
That person.
You know what I mean? Like
I'm an entrepreneur.
Person. Yeah. So I didn't want to be that person. But because of that, I didn't ask a lot of times the people that I should have asked for like advice or for tips or for how to do certain things. So I feel like it did cause me to spend more time in other directions that maybe I could have cut corners on or could have not taken so much time in. So I think it does make a lot of sense to just, even if it's like an acquaintance or someone you kind of don't really know that well, like just shoot them a message. And if the worst case scenario is they don't respond, like they're not gonna write back and be like, oh, you're awful. Like, that's never gonna happen. So the worst thing is just that they don't respond. But the best thing is if they do respond and they help you and it saves you time and it saves you a lot of things, or you learn something in that 5-minute conversation that you took with you for the rest of your life because it helped you with whatever it was. So I think it's worth it just to reach out and kind of just see what networks you have that you may have not known that you had.
Yeah. So what was part of, why did I bring that up? Because we were talking about community. Oh yeah, why we're here.
Yes.
And also, like, maybe you don't know. Let's say Chris didn't know someone who did live streams, but maybe he was like watching us, or he knew someone and just asked around. Someone's gonna know someone.
Yeah.
Who knows this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the other realization is, what you're doing is, you have to like come to the realization that someone else has probably already thought of it, has probably done it before, has probably tried. And you are not the first one.
Yeah.
Even if you think your idea is the most ridiculous idea, there's 7 billion people. Someone has probably thought about it. So get over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And just, if you really believe in it, just do it.
Yeah.
The biggest difference is that person probably thought of it. Maybe you did some work, put some work into it, but didn't follow through. Following through is the hardest part. So if you do it and you just follow through,
yeah,
you're gonna make it.
Yeah. The
Relax.
only difference between you and them is they did it. And they did it again, they did it again. They kept doing it. Till it got to the point that it's at. You know what I mean? You can't just do it once. You probably got to keep doing it. But they did it, and you maybe you didn't. Maybe you did it once, and they did it 10 times. Like, you just got to keep doing it.
I love, I always bring this one. This is my favorite thing. Is Angry Birds was the 52nd game that they came out with.
Really?
Before they made it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They came out with 51 other games.
Wow.
So they stuck through it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like 50. That's so. We're on our 6th kit right now, and I'm exhausted.
I know.
So yeah.
That's wild. I never knew that.
And I feel like the game is way harder than. I mean, they're all slightly like based on the same thing.
Right.
From what I read. I'm not a huge gamer. Sorry, Twitch. But yeah, that's persistence.
That's crazy.
It's determination.
That is persistence.
And you have to believe in every game that you come out
right.
with. Like, until you make it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy. Whatever.
Wow.
But then you think back, right? I think I'm like, in my mind, I'm on like kit number 11, 12, you know? We're photographing kit number 7.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm selling online kit number 5, up to number 5, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, your brain is already going.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to follow through on it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And do something towards it every day. That was like another thing that someone mentioned to me in the beginning, was just every day you have to do at least something towards whatever like the project is, or the vision, or the business, or whatever it is you're doing, you're focusing on every day.
Right. And then to that point, and to the, I'm on kit number 11, 12, sorry, I try to remember the point that I had there also, but was, then you look back. So basically, I was already selling stuff online, but I started doing full party kits. I started planning, I mean, I've always had the idea, but I started planning in August. And it is now November, so August, November. So, not even 4 months. And I feel like I can't believe I've done all of this, you know?
Right.
And it's just like slowly plugging away. And it's not going to be overnight. You're not going to post your kit online and then 1,000 people buy it. I mean, maybe if you had the money and the funding and whatever, the marketing, you know, the pre-launch. But a lot of normal people that didn't do that are not going to have that kind of immediate success. So, we should talk about, like, another time, the product itself, like putting the effort into what your product is.
We have like a next week
chat agenda. I think we're gonna start having little template documents that we should upload.
Yeah. Product development, basically.
Yeah, I can write it. Easier. So, all things here for success. Okay.
Oh, okay. So I have a new client on Upwork, and they wanted me to do. They're gonna create a YouTube channel. So I guess I was interested in this because we are trying to also do that with Sasha and the cat. And I know there's different types of YouTube channels or different like styles of like doing the videos. But she wanted a video intro. She already recorded her videos and did some photography stuff. But she wanted a video intro, a bottom thirds, and a YouTube banner. And probably in the future, YouTube thumbnails. Because she's going to have like 3 different segments to her main channel. So I guess I just got my brain working in terms of like, what do you need to kind of like start a YouTube channel? And I feel like there's 100 million videos on this on YouTube, so I'm not going to be one of those videos at all. But I wanted to open up the conversation just because, again, like with kind of just order of operations, or kind of like what to prioritize first or last or whatever, I just wanted your thoughts on it. Because I felt like when I talked to the client, she already had like 6 videos already recorded. Love that. Love that.
She didn't ask you to also record the video?
No, she wasn't like, I just have ideas, I have no videos. No, she had like
she
already recorded
the
videos. She was already planning ahead on like which one she would post and which week. Love those. I was so thankful.
It's a great client.
Really refreshing. And she'd already done the photography for like her own personal branding, which is what she's doing. So I think that helped as well, just to make me feel better about agreeing to work with the client, because I can tell they're on top of what they want and like know what they want. Which helps you feel motivated too to complete it, because you know like you're gonna be held accountable. Like they're about their shit and you're about your shit. Okay. So yeah, she wanted the video intro, which I still don't fully understand what that is. Like,
is she gonna give you any clips?
She told me a couple YouTube channels that inspire her, that she wants to follow them after.
Let's look at them.
I'll have to pull them in.
Let's do it.
So she gave me some that she was interested in, or that she thought would make a good intro for her video. And I think this is where it depends on the style of a YouTube channel that you're going for. This is the guy's name. No, don't say it, just because I don't know if I want. If she ever sees this randomly, I don't want her to be like, you talk about me.
Well, we did say she was a great client.
Oh my god, yes. I'm excited.
So is it like a podcasty vibe?
Is that him? No. Go back.
Christian channel, what? Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Really?
It's about like dieting and stuff, like Weight Watchers and stuff.
Oh, so she's gonna be,
Oh. that all Canva? That's all Canva.
No way.
It looks like it would be from Canva.
I think that's an After Effects thing. But that's pretty simple. Photos, and it's basically photos coming in.
That's why she was so focused on the photography. Because she's like, I had to reschedule my photographer shoot, and I was like, what does she need photos for if it's a video intro?
Oh.
But she wants it to be multiple shots. Okay.
Yeah. And then the letters coming in, though.
Yeah.
Actually, they might have it on Premiere. Like an easy text. Like,
I should have charged her way more. Whatever.
Really? It's just photos.
And video. She wants me to put a song too, and I'm like, I don't know how to do the rights of that. Like, how do you know what I mean?
You can download a track and use it.
Okay. I'm gonna learn
Like
from Kat. But
like people sell tracks to be used, not like I downloaded it off like,
YouTube.
iTunes, yeah, or YouTube, yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. So that was one part of it, and then the other part was the bottom thirds, and these are just terms or terminology things that people use. So the other one was bottom thirds, and then an intro. What happened?
Oh, sorry. I feel like I thought it was like somebody who's messaging
About
for this.
Yeah.
So I kept looking, but it wasn't.
Your face.
We have this thing now. Also, I feel like my default face is a smile anyway. But ever since the photo shoot, I'm just like always smile because maybe this candid will be good.
Well, your thinking face or listening face is always the.
I know.
Anyway, okay, bottom thirds was the other one, and a YouTube banner, which I feel like YouTube banner is obvious. It's just like when people go to the channel, they see the banner, and they're like, oh, cool, I'm gonna hit subscribe. The bottom thirds is just like an overlay that advertisers, it kind of just shows all your information and stuff that you want viewers to see.
Which on Premiere, they have it organized that way, bottom thirds. But it's not it's gonna be a video. Yeah.
Did he have a bottom thirds? I don't even remember.
If you guys have any comments, sorry, I'm assuming. Okay, if anyone has any comments on YouTube intro, thumbnail, overlay language, please tell us. See, he has like that. I mean, that is an upper, top thing. Okay.
It's considered. Okay. Let me see. Oh, that type of is that included?
That's like more like a pop-up because it's not there the whole time.
Right. Nothing is there the whole time. I'm trying to figure out what she meant.
I'm getting an ad for my own product that I sell.
Oh my god,
computer
you are.
There's literally a sweater weather candle. Like the same one.
The other thing too is when I was talking to this client, she didn't mention the YouTube thumbnails, but I asked her because to me it was like the only thing missing. So I feel like that's another component. The content? It's like a religious video that we're watching. And I'm a little nervous for what I signed up for.
I just could read those lips saying Jesus. Wait, but I wanted to show you. No, whatever. It was like, should you pray to angels?
Oh yeah, that's the name of the video. I'll just give it away, but. Okay, so that kind of covers.
Maybe that's not the main
stuff.
video. You know, that's like his like 1,000th video. It's okay, at least we have 3 viewers. Okay. So, I think this should be our main topic today. Not the last one.
Yes, that was actually what I mainly wanted to talk about. So we can, yeah, it's a good one to end on.
So basically, Sasha is known as the impulsive human. And I am the thorough human. Though we both can be a little bit of the opposite sometimes.
Yeah.
Very rarely. But sometimes.
We're like yin and yang, so sometimes, you know, it just transfers, but.
I wonder if there's any audio. Can I just check if. Okay.
Yeah, but that fan's too loud. I don't think
It's
we should
okay.
use it.
We'll be more.
I think you can hear as well, but yeah.
Yeah. So Sasha's known as the impulsive person, and I am known as the thorough person. But so we're always trying to be like, oh, I'm like, I love how impulsive you are. And then she's like, no, I love how thorough you are.
Yeah.
And then we just say like, oh my gosh, we love each other. But I think the impulsive side is a little bit better in terms of
Productivity.
productivity. If we're talking about productivity.
Okay, so I think it matters how you measure productivity. And I think this is the difference in a lot of people, or like even books, I think, talk about this a lot, where maybe you're more productive because you thoroughly completed many things, even if it's in time, versus partially completing many things, which could also be productive. I think it just depends on what you value as productivity. I don't know. Because I feel like they both have advantages and disadvantages, like, equally. And I think no matter what, whether you're thorough or impulsive, I think finding a good amount of just multitasking. I think you can still be thorough, but multitask. And I think you can still be impulsive in multitasking and be, like, well at both.
I feel like
What do
the
you think of that?
personalities
Yeah, I know.
don't fit. Maybe it's like one of those to each their own kind of thing.
Or the combo works best. Like one person
then-
is, one person isn't.
Oh, yeah, helping each other. Yeah, because Sasha's impulsivity this week has been great. I don't know if you saw this past week. Last week, right before we went on Twitch, Sasha was talking about Instacart, and she was just finishing an Instacart order. And then I was like, oh, let me check if I got into Instacart because I was waitlisted. And she had been doing it. So then I checked, and I had got, like, it let me move forward and fill out the paperwork and all that. So, because of Sasha, though, because I had been hearing about her just going, and, like, she fits in Instacart orders, like, oh, I'm gonna go to Walgreens. Oh, but, on my way to Walgreens, I can do an Instacart order.
Yeah. Where the efficiency thing, where, like, to me, if I'm going somewhere, I have to have at least 3 reasons. Like, I'm like that even when I, like, go to the kitchen. Like, I won't just go to the kitchen to grab a napkin. I might think of other things I might need on the way there, or I might wait until I have 2 other things that I need to get.
Who
and
needs
then I'll
to clean
go.
the greasy hands?
Just, like, I know that's probably crazy, but that's, like, literally how bad it is, to where I won't do something if there's only one reason. I'll have to have other reasons, or I'll create other reasons, just because I'm like, it helped me somehow. So, yes, she's right. So, like, if I'm going somewhere that's, like, 20 minutes away, and there's a grocery store on the way, I might try to see if there's an Instacart I could pick up, and see if, like, the drop-off address is close to where I'm going.
But I think your brain is also just 1,000 miles a minute.
It's pretty bad.
Like,
it's pretty bad.
For me, I do a bunch of things, but if I'm, like, going somewhere, then I'm just going somewhere. Like, I feel like it takes so much to just be like, oh, but then I can also do this and this. Like, it's gonna take me 3 hours to get to my destination.
And it's mentally exhausting.
Yes,
I did have a
there you go.
migraine 2 days ago because I mentally expired myself severely.
Okay, but then we also talked about that, where it's like, okay, she had basically, like, a few good weeks before she crashed at my place when she finally got here. Because I think she's like, go, 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 go. And then finally when she got to Nashville, it was the first day off you'd had in a while.
Yeah.
So then you just, like,
Yeah.
crash, right? So, but is that worth it? Health-wise, I would say no, but efficiency-wise.
Well, so, like, when she got the Instacart thing and she was approved,
Oh, yes.
she called me and was like, she was like, I got it. What do I do? Like, they haven't sent me a card yet. Like, she didn't have the card to pay with yet, but they have Apple Pay option, so you can still kind of, like, work with some stores that allow that. And Instacart knows, like, whether you have the card or not. So it only feeds you batches that are
Take
applicable.
Apple Pay.
Yeah. So, I, of course, was just like, yes, go.
So then I
she'd
just
already
took an order.
accepted the batch.
Right.
And at first I told her how it works if you were to cancel the batch in case that was her option. But
my impulsivity kicked in because of Sasha that day. And I was just like, I'm just going to do it because then normal Cat Leia would just be like, well, okay, I got accepted. Let me go on my Google Calendar.
Yes.
Okay, on Thursday from 3 to 6, I can go then. All right, scheduled day to go. And then, who knows if Thursday comes around. I'm so busy. Just like that. I'm so busy. Let's go Saturday. And then I never go. But because the hardest part of doing something is the first time you do it.
The first time's always the hardest, yeah.
That's part of why I was like, that day, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go. I'm just going to get the first time out there. And then that way, now it's easy for me to, like, now I'm like, okay, I can do Instacart, like, when she leaves, I'm going to go on Wednesday, whatever, and it's normal.
Now it's already integrated.
Even though that was hella stressful, side note, because
it is a chore. I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff, but I do think it's kind of like when you start a job, right? Like, when you're going through training, they just put you on the schedule where they can fit you, depending on the job, obviously. And you just start when you can start. And I feel like you kind of had to just go through like a little mini training shift, even if.
But while I was like.
Yeah. So that was your training shift. But now that you got it,
crazy.
it's kind of just, that's it.
Yeah. Now that it's over, I'm like, okay, it wasn't that bad. But while I was doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, you have to scan this. And then check that you got it. Oh my god, this is for this person. This is for this person. Now I have to find their house with my broken GPS. And I'm like, what is happening? And, you know, one person's like, leave it at my doorstep. The other one's like, oh, come deliver it to me. And you just kind of like, go.
But now you can also set your next shift up for success because you already found a couple kinks, like your phone or whatever. So next time you actually have it scheduled in your Google Calendar, you're going to be more prepared and, like, it won't feel like as overwhelming, I feel like.
Right.
Or, like, let's say you allotted 5 hours to do it. You're not, like, hating those 5 hours because you're still, like, trial and erroring stuff. Whereas, like, you did that for, like, a couple hours, so now you already got it figured out.
I also, like, the only place that took it was, like, 20 minutes away, but I really wanted to try it. I mean, I would have chosen a place closer or hung out in that area the whole day if that's where the main area was. So half the anxiety was like, oh my gosh, I'm already losing 20 minutes of time just getting to the Publix, you know? But anyway, so on Impulsivity, yes, I channeled my inner Sasha last week. But I was happy.
The bad thing, last week.
And it took a turn.
So I went to do Instacart, and I had my coat on, and I had the card that you used to pay in the coat pocket, and I think it fell out in the parking lot of the grocery store. So I went home, and I thought this. I was like, I bet it's in the parking lot. I'll just call them later. They probably have it. But I was also like, maybe they don't. I don't know. So I ended up finding out about Apple Pay through Kat with Instacart. So I signed up with the Apple Pay thing, and I was like, okay, cool. I can still do some stores, even though I don't have the physical card on me.
Ooh, we have a real question.
Oh.
Finish your story, though.
Okay. We'll get to that question in just a sec. It's definitely relevant to what we're saying, if you're still here. So the card fell out of my pocket, and I knew this and told myself to call them later, but I ended up doing like a couple more orders, had other things to do that day. So then at night, I was like, okay, well, I lost my card. If I just cancel it now and order a new one, I'll get a new one sooner. Because I was like, who's going to really return the Instacart card? It like found in a parking lot, you know?
But she's also like so all over the place.
I should have just called them already. But my impulsivity worked against me because I was like, no, if I just do it now and cancel it now and order it now, then I'll have it sooner and I can do Instacart sooner. Instead of just calling them. So then I canceled it at night. And then for some reason, the next day, I was like, oh, well, maybe the store hasn't. So I called the store. I don't know why
you would still check. I wouldn't even want to check.
I was hoping that they didn't, like, fully cancel it or that they could just renew it. Like, I figured with Instacart being, like, so away and they're not a bank, I was like, maybe they can just reactivate it. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Because it's like I have the physical card in my hand. I can send them a picture of it. So I kind of just thought maybe there was, like, a way around it. But I called Kroger the next morning and I was like, hey, did you guys find Instacart cards? They're like, yeah. What are the last 4 digits? And I told them, and they were like, yeah, we have it right here. So I was super excited, but then I think I contacted Instacart. Look at all this shit. That was so unnecessary. So then I had to contact Instacart because I think the card had said deactivated, like, in my app.
There was no pause. You couldn't pause, like, lock the card?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. And then I like sent them a message through chat, and they were like, no, since you already canceled it and we've already like issued a new one, we can't reactivate it. And I was like, damn. So it's kind of like a gamble, which I do a lot, where I'm just like, is it better to do this or better to do that? And I usually just, weigh each one out and just choose whatever I think.
This is all within like 2 minutes of her brain time.
Yeah, it's very quick.
She's like explaining this, but it's like she just like goes to pee and then it comes to her.
Yeah. Or like I was chatting the Instacart person like while making breakfast. Whatever.
You're so rude.
So that happened, and I was kind of bummed. He was like, well, you can still use Apple Pay, whatever, but there aren't that many stores that use Apple Pay for me, so I still don't have my Instacart card.
Yeah.
So that delayed
moral story.
a lot, and I was very pissed. Oh, but another thing just to note about Instacart is if you do go to a store and you don't have your Instacart card, you can use your credit card or your card of payment, and they issue you a reimbursement.
Oh.
So technically I could do that. Technically I could still do Instacart and just use my card, and then they reimburse me. Because I did that with the orders I had.
She's crazy.
Oh my god, no, it was, yeah.
She even considered, because she's in Ohio, but this weekend she's in Nashville, we even considered her using my Instacart just so she could take some orders around here, or deliver some orders.
And she's like, I'll Venmo you the amount since it's under my account.
Like, what?
But you thought of that. That was actually your idea.
Yes, I did think of that, but because you kept talking about
I
how
was
you
gonna
wanted
see
to...
if I had I could add my zone as like Nashville and just do Instacart here, but you can't. It's only what you sign up with, so. Just some more Instacart news.
There's another Impulsivity story, but answer this.
So, I don't know
too.
if this human is still here or not, but sorry, new here. Have you compared the income streams of the various delivery gigs? Kind of. I mean, I've signed up for DoorDash, Grubhub, and Instacart. This was obviously after getting laid off, pandemic related. And I guess what I like the most about Instacart is instant gratification. Like, you're scanning items and you're actually like moving and you're kind of like on your feet, you're exercising.
Yes.
Yeah, like you're getting out, especially during the pandemic. You don't want to just be like in your car all the time or just at home all the time. So I like that part of it. And you don't have to deal with people too much, like just the cashier or just like the people helping you at the grocery store. So it's a good amount, I think, for me, of like socialization. And then with DoorDash and Grubhub, you just have to wait around for an order. But in my experience with Instacart, there's always orders ready.
Always
orders
and incentives.
Ready. And incentives, they'll add like certain amounts per batch, or if you complete a certain amount per day, they'll add a little bit extra. And then it is kind of tip based. Like, you see before you accept the order if you're gonna get like how much you're gonna get tipped or not. But I have noticed if I'm like extra communicative with the people and I'm like a little more responsive or helpful, they do end up kind of like altering their tips even after the transaction's over. So I like that it matters. I feel like with food delivery, people are a little less willing to do that because you're just dropping off food. Like,
right, and
they're more focused on like the restaurant they bought it from. But like you're
Right.
actually shopping for these people through
And they
Instacart.
talk to you.
Yeah.
And like
And you can like see what they get, like what they have in their household. We were talking about this, but we like to like kind of like imagine what they look
trying
like.
to see who Jim is.
What
Who
their
is
family
Jim?
style's like, how many kids do they have, what age might they be, like.
And it's so much more satisfying. Like, I don't know. I delivered my first one, and it was, it was 2 people, but one was an older man in like a senior home, and I mean, he also got like 4 tubs of ice cream. I'm like, yo, you eat a lot of ice cream. but he was just like, you could tell like he couldn't go out, and he was just old, and he had like his little shopping cart ready, and it made me feel like I was doing community service by getting paid.
Yeah.
You know?
But I do want to say, like, with Grubhub and DoorDash and stuff, I've known other people that, like, when they first did it, when the pandemic happened, they got, like, large cash tips from people because they were just like, thank you so much. Like, I didn't want to go out. You saved my day. And they made a lot of money that way, and all you had to do was drop off food here and there. Or if you live close to, like, an area that often has a lot of takeout orders, then it's not that bad on your gas or whatever. So it kind of just depends on your area. It depends on the time of the year and the kind of, like, the situation going on. It depends on the size of the orders.
Yeah, I think also the difference between like you're saying with DoorDash and Grubhub is, again, it's restaurant based, so even the tip margins, I don't know how it works in terms of back pay because I don't have, is it like an hourly?
I don't know.
Okay, well the tips on groceries, because someone's spending probably like $200, $250, $300 on their groceries, the tip margin, And I used to work in a restaurant, so, you know, if anyone has worked in a restaurant, you'd be like, oh, yes, $400 order, like sushi boat.
That's a good
But
point.
you didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But you got like $60 from it. So the mart, at least also by area, like I was saying it's 20 minutes away because I live kind of like in the suburbs, but in the wealthy part of town, those are the people that are shopping at Instacart, and they're gonna pay more for tips.
Yeah.
And their groceries are gonna cost more just because of what they're ordering or the type of food they're ordering. So it's maybe even worth it to hang out around there for, you know, a portion of your day, and then you make way more money than driving around to 17 different houses to deliver like burgers.
Yeah.
Not saying that that's bad or that, you know.
Well, like you
could
could
be
deliver
making
that
money
one
from
order and it brings you over to this person's house, but now there's like no restaurants that do takeout often.
Right.
Because that hub of all the good restaurants is over here. So now you still have to drive back.
Right.
Whereas in Instacart, there's grocery stores everywhere, especially in neighborhoods or suburbs. You know what I mean? There's houses everywhere, there's grocery stores everywhere. So even if like you're doing it, you shop here and it takes you over here, there's probably still a grocery store nearby. You can pick one up there, and that person's house might be over here, which is close to where you live. So then it's like, oh cool, I can just go back home, have some lunch, which is what I do. So it ends up, I think, being a little better in terms of not wasting time. Like I think with the other delivery options, you can kind of just stand around waiting for an order to come through, and that kills me. Like I hate wasting time. And
like for example, you can choose, like let's say I know that grocery store now that I was talking about, that's like a main grocery store, especially for Instacart. I was there and it was 80% Instacart people.
Yeah.
So I was actually asking other Instacart people where something was instead of the Publix person. And because that's such a huge hub, you'll always get orders. Like, and you'll know everything in that grocery store rather than going to a bunch of different restaurants and you're trying to find the restaurant. Like, and you get to walk around. I don't know. I love the walking around part because it's like boom, 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 boom. Instead of just like, I mean, Uber driving, you're just sitting all day.
Yeah.
You don't need another excuse to sit all day.
Especially during this time. That's like the main thing I like too, is like when you work from home in other ways or work on like your own business or whatever, like you're often in front of a computer all the time. So Instacart puts you on your feet. So I feel like that was like one of the biggest things I liked about it.
Yeah.
I also used to work at I worked at Whole Foods for years, so I think for me it was a little more like familiar and comforting to just be around it again. And I love grocery shopping. I know that's like a weird thing to say, but I just love learning about new products and like new food items and what I want to try.
I was like, oh, this ice cream looks good.
And as I'm shopping for them, I'm like, okay, I see what you're making. I want to try to make that. Like that's a great idea. Or like, you know, you can tell they're having like a Mexican night and like it'll inspire you. So it's great. And sometimes I've like bought my groceries. I know I probably shouldn't say this, but like efficiency. So if there's like 3 items I needed from Kroger and I'm already going to Kroger, I'll see if there's an Instacart order that I need to pick up too. That way, if I'm already going there to shop for myself, I can also just make some money by shopping for someone else.
The clientele, I think, is also different in that, you know, when you deliver for DoorDash or just a food delivery, not that DoorDash is bad or anything, but when you deliver food, timing is so important. Like, if they said their food's gonna be there in 35 minutes and their food is not there in 35 minutes or whatever, they're so mad because they're hungry, they're waiting, you know, they're hangry. But because they're delivering, not that you should be delivering late, but they're just grocery shopping. So let's say they ordered at 11 a.m., you know, but they get home at 5 p.m. Like,
well, it means they're planning. Like,
they're just planning.
They're planning to make a meal that night, maybe, or they're planning for their week, or whatever, or they were like working all day and couldn't make it to the grocery store, but their kids need food. Like, so I think it's a totally different clientele, and I think because of that, you get a little more like respect and kind of just like appreciation in a sense,
and some leeway.
And there's a lot of flexibility in timing. Like Instacart tracks how long it takes to complete the order, like how long it takes to scan all the items and everything. But beyond that, they're very flexible with like how long it'll take you to get to the store and how long it takes you to deliver the order.
Yeah.
And
they gave me like almost 2 hours for that order the 2 orders that I had, and if I was at the Publix already, like in that area, it would have been super fast. But it was because I had to drive. Yeah. But I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like a little late, like delivering to this lady, and she wasn't even home. Like, she was just like, leave it on the front porch.
Most of them aren't home. Yeah, they just are like, leave it at the door. I will say, Instacart is a lot more work. Like, if you are just wanting to chill and just cruise
True.
in your car or listen to a podcast, like, that's definitely easier with other things. But with Instacart, it's definitely always hands-on. You definitely need your phone because you have to scan every item that is on that list. So make sure your battery's charged.
Yeah.
And you need your GPS, obviously, and like you have to depend on that app. Yeah. And then if like the items aren't there or something, you're talking to the customer, making sure you get replacements and stuff. So it is a lot more effort and work, I think. But I think I like that part of it because it feels more valuable and like meaningful.
Right. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is my side gig. Like, I honestly could do Instacart every day.
I really enjoy it. Like, I actually really like it. I don't think it'll go away.
If you miss working, like, because of this crazy year or whatever.
But if you're also over people because of this crazy year, because people have become assholes.
And I love people, but I still love this. Like, I love this. Like,
she's more extroverted than I am. So.
Yeah, and I like, you know, the satisfaction of like, boom, I found it.
Yes.
I found pretzel, blah blah blah. Scan.
Yes.
In cart. That's what's up, Jim.
Yes. Wait, I wanted to touch on what you said about Uber and Postmates.
Or Dudette.
I had a friend that did Uber, and she did Uber a lot, and I remember she did it as like a side hustle, but I guess I always thought with Uber, it's more personal because you have someone in your car. And again, like, you pick them up and you bring them somewhere, but then you're just constantly trying to find all these connecting points. But it's like, who knows when that next person will be, or I don't know. It's just a lot.
That's too close. I'm extroverted, but that's too up close and personal.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I hate sitting. I know we're sitting now.
Yes, sitting makes a huge.
But this is the last of our sitting.
And
today.
then Postmates. I'm not familiar with Postmates, and I've also heard of Shipt, which is another one, SHIPT, which I think is like Instacart. I'm not positive though. And also with Instacart, some of them are just pickup orders, I think. Like, I feel like I've had people ask me, like, oh, do you do the shopping or do you just pick it up and deliver it? I haven't seen that yet on my Instacart feed or like as an option. I've only seen like the shopping and delivering.
No, but you choose that in the beginning. It asked you. It asked me.
Why wouldn't I have chosen that? That sounds great.
Just shopping?
No, just delivering. Isn't it just delivering?
No. It's just shopping or shopping and delivering. Like, maybe you don't have a car and you're just hanging out at the grocery store all day. That's so weird.
No, I like freedom, so I think that's why I chose that option.
I'm just here in aisle 3, chilling until my next order. Let me have some pretzels.
Yes. Okay. So, smash my dark pit. I don't know. It sounds a little weird.
I know. I've been avoiding the name.
Okay. Mentioned that the main issue with the friend that they had that did Uber was that they had connecting trips. So sometimes the person would end up 50 miles from home and waste a ton of gas. But then you're also like, no one else 50 miles away is gonna hop on an Uber either. So you can't even find a person to like bring you back to the main area. So then you just have to drive all the way back, which is a waste of gas. And that's happened on some of the orders. Like, it'll be like people out in the country that I have to deliver.
But you can see before you go.
But you can always see the trip before you go. That's a good point. I don't think you can with Uber. So with Instacart, how did I not know that? I love that game.
Well, you started.
Wait, what? What reference is it? Can you tell me?
Oh yeah, can you tell us the reference if you don't mind? My human's very into.
So that's like the main game I would play when I was playing Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always chose Kirby. Kirby is like when he turns into the Rock and he just pounds down, killer.
Bro, it's like Tuesday nights. All I hear is PK Fire, PK Fire. I'm like, what?
Anyway, so with Instacart, when you pull up when you pull up the batches and you click on them, you can see where they're traveling.
One of the characters is Dark Pit.
Oh, I probably didn't get that far.
But thank you for asking questions. But like in the beginning, because we've been getting a lot of like weird. I've had to ban a few people, and I need to kind of do some back end work on just trying to avoid those people in general. But we've been getting a lot of weird things, so we've been like, who's that person?
Right, that's a good point. Yeah.
But anyway,
so with Instacart, when you pull up the batches, like it's like a list of batches, and you click on it, you can see where the grocery store is, where you're delivering to, and then it tells you the total miles between the grocery store and the delivery, and then it also tells you the items that you're going to be shopping for, and how many of each item. So it tells you the quantity of the items, the quantity of units, because it could be like a case of water and a Gatorade and like bananas, which is 3 items. But if you get like 6 bananas, 3 cases of water, and 2 Gatorades, then it's obviously more units. So that's how they divide it out.
Yeah.
So those are things to look for in terms of like how long will it take me? Is it worth it? Da da da. And then yeah, you can see everything though, so you know what you're signing up for, which I think is like the other thing I like about it the most. But you do have to be quick. Like if you look at it too long, someone else might have already taken the batch, and then you're like, oh, but that one was perfect for me. I was just not sure. So you kind of do have to
you have to know what you're looking for.
Yeah, and know what you're looking for. Yeah. But I highly recommend it. I know a lot of friends that have tried it and they've been waitlisted recently because when the pandemic happened, I think a bunch of people signed up for it because they got laid off, so they started Instacart right away. So I've referred people to it and they've been waitlisted, but it depends on the area, so just try it.
I got waitlisted, but then like 3 days later, I got in. I do appreciate a good app, and that I will say is a very strong app in terms of making your life easy and getting through this crazy year. Yay! And then for us, like, we also,
that was me. Sorry.
Smashed it.
I just thought of when you turned into Rocky. Like, bah!
You're not dumb. We don't know gaming. We're on a freaking gaming, like, site right now. You know a little gaming. You do some gaming. But not like, I mean, some of these people are intense, man. I mean, I've been watching like some Among Us stuff, and I'm like, it's good, but yeah. Other plans for streaming? Do you mean like, are we gonna do anything else other than talk? So I don't know if you got at the beginning.
What's your background? Who are you?
Tell us everything about you.
Yeah, what are you about?
Yeah.
We just started this a few weeks ago, and basically we're best friends that have common interests in business and passion and creativity and just being busy and productive and wanting to take over the world. Not really.
And that took a turn.
You know what I mean? So I think because of that, we just thought like sharing our voice and sharing our thoughts on things and experiences of things would like help other people. We just want to help other people and build a community. So that's what we're doing. That's like our main focus. But we're Sasha and the cat just because a friend of ours made a little like documentary about us.
Casual documentary.
It was casual. It was like whatever. It was like a project he was doing. But yeah, so we got the name from that, and then from there we just want to kind of help other people. So yeah.
Well, yeah, we appreciate you. Yeah, so basically we talk about different topics. Oh, what's a Discord? Now you're just...
We're always hearing about these new things.
It's so weird Twitch comes out with new things like every week.
Well, that one week it was like ASMR, which I've heard of, but I didn't know of it in the sense that they mentioned. But like, I have a background in like wellness and alternative medicine. She has a background in event planning, wedding planning, catering, party planning.
Party life.
She's a planner and a executor and then all things.
That is now laid off, so. Instacart.
And she's super creative. She's like a quirky only child and she's awesome. So, and then I'm kind of just, I don't even know what to say.
You're like a cool hippie that doesn't smell. And
I'm clean. But anyway, so like even if it's questions related to our backgrounds or stuff like that, we might also put streams on here, like live streams of us doing those things.
Like I did a stream, except it was a little bit of a fail because I was trying to figure it out. We're also trying to figure out Twitch a little bit.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I was trying to do like a party unboxing one of the days, and then she was gonna do some acupuncture stuff. So that's about it. Yeah, we're Twitch babies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been a little more familiar with it recently because my human does live stream concerts, and he's like super into it, and he's into the gaming and stuff. But we're working on our overlays, okay? We're working on our little green follower goal thing.
Yeah. What's Discord?
Yeah, what's Discord? We'll wait for you. So, Discord's an app. Discord is an app you can invite people to. It can be used for voice chat, posting things, updates, and stuff. Okay.
So it's like a different form of like Zoom, where like people could join into the conversation, but it's not video based. It's just like them talking.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, because someone mentioned that last time.
Yeah, because it's like I want you guys to participate because the whole point is that everyone is talking
I guess my reservation with it is it's sometimes hard to like trust strangers. So you're always like, who am I really inviting to
Well, I
this?
feel like you have to let them in.
How are they gonna handle the conversation? I know, but you never know until you're in it. You know?
That's true, yeah, man. What if we let you in and then you start making weird noises? I'm kidding. I feel like you're kind of normal.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
But I feel like.
But
other
I
people
think in
do it.
time, as we build our community a little more, I think like as we have more followers and more people that are in line with what we're trying to discuss and talk about and like contribute meaningful things. I think that's our main goal. So as long as we're building that, even in small steps, then I think we could do something like that.
Yeah.
Or I would love to, where we could include a conversation. Because I feel like nowadays too, with pandemic and all this crap, like everyone's distant, everyone's far away.
Right. And the whole point is for you to comfortably like ask us the random business questions that you have that maybe you don't want to ask somebody else because you're gonna feel stupid, or
Yeah.
maybe you don't want your face in there like, hey, I'm asking
Right.
this stupid question, and so that would be great. Once you know following so you want to have mods that can handle things like that.
Oh, the
Mods. Oh yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week.
We
So-
talked about mods last week because I was
Thank
like, yo,
you.
somebody needs to like check on this chat and stuff because we got some weird. It's so funny because we've changed our stream chat name so many times in the past because like now it's Chill BFF Chatting. Yes, I was gonna say that. Would be cool to in real life stream your Instacart runs.
I know, I've thought of
You-
that. But
you
I don't know how
do
to
so
do that
much.
because you use your phone for everything, so you'd have to have a separate thing, like, recording you.
We should go together today.
Oh my god, duh.
Dude!
Thank you.
We have 2 votes!
I feel like we explain things well, or we try to. So I think that's also part of why we wanted to create this, is because we try to just break things down in simple ways and kind of just share it with people.
Yeah.
Because we just, I don't know.
Yeah. Dude, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say your username. I feel so lame saying it, but you know I'm talking to you.
I know, in my head it sounds so sexual.
Also, yesterday, I think part of what is making us so weird is because this photo shoot is like black and gold, and yesterday we were in these outfits, and some of the shots we were like, yo, that could be in a porno.
Yeah, it was like very risque.
So, and if you know anything about us, we're like very, very dorky.
Yeah, it's not our vibe.
It's not our vibe. We used to live in Miami, and we got out because we're like, we're not cool enough to live in this city.
We're not vain enough.
Yeah, we're not vain enough to live in this city. That is agreed. Yeah, and it took us like 40 minutes to pick an outfit yesterday because we're like, no, we look like too sexy.
Yeah. we were
Can't
like,
show that much
does this
leather.
work? I don't know.
So anyway,
Smashed. I like that.
all right, smash dude. So that's a great idea with showing the Instacart process.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll show it, and then you'll be
Do
convinced.
a video on it. So we do plan to do like a Sasha and the Cat YouTube channel.
Yes.
That has
and
kind
more.
of just do different segments and stuff. That way, if people aren't here live, then they have another opportunity to like learn from what we're sharing.
Yeah, we'll have,
we've had so many things going on that we
Yeah,
haven't been
dude.
able to dedicate enough. There's not enough time in the day. First of all.
Yeah, they should be
Or
like
like if you could
74
just be okay
hours.
getting like 4 hours of sleep, that'd be great.
You do get like 4 hours.
I know, but I'm not okay. If you could be okay getting like 4 hours of sleep, golden. I'd be golden. But
Last night she went to sleep at like, I would say like 2 a.m.
oh yeah.
And then I woke up today and she was already like, she had sent me a text an hour before. She was like already on her computer, like
I was
going
like,
to
what's
photos,
the
she's on
Wi-Fi
my
password?
phone selling things. I'm like, what is going on?
I know, and I told myself not to get up. I was like, just stay in bed, just try to like keep relaxing. But when my brain's on, I just feel like I gotta use it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not using it if I'm just sitting here. So I just got up and started using it.
We're definitely a next level of crazy.
But I did journal
but
and like take
Hello.
my time. Hi.
I feel like I need glasses. I can't see. I'm like, who
Oh,
is that?
Thank you, Smash. We appreciate it.
Yes.
I also feel like there's a disconnect by just reading chats. Like I'd
Yes,
rather kind
I
of like
want
hear
you
their
here.
voice or see what they look like because that's how it is in real life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
and nowadays everyone wears a freaking mask, and it's like you can't even see people's faces anymore.
I know.
And that's so disconnecting. That's so bad.
Yeah. So we really want to have this like Monday live stream so that you can actively ask questions or
Yeah.
like participate and all that. But then it will be, we will have YouTube segments of these Twitch streams that chopped up or other segments like her going to Instacart or me setting up another party, where it's more, geared towards what you're interested in. But
because we talk about many things, even though they're all connected in our brain,
it's not to other people.
It probably isn't to other people. And especially as we look back at the Twitch videos, we're like, oh my god, we went on so many tangents and all these things. But I feel like
I know we have to have an agenda because we're like, okay, no,
yeah.
let's talk about this.
But I think that's the beauty of conversation today is, especially video podcasts and stuff. I feel like I'll watch one that's 2 hours long, but there might be a 5-minute segment that was super, super valuable that stayed with me forever. And so I watch it because I'm waiting for that time, or you just never know what you're gonna get out of it. And I feel like it helps when it's authentic conversation between people.
And I feel like you can see, for example, Instacart, we're actually really excited about it, rather than here are 3 reasons we like Instacart. 1, and it pops up here, efficiency. 2, the app,
Yeah.
I feel like if we just talk about it, it's so much more exciting, and you get so much more out of it as someone who's also trying to figure out this crazy year, but we also want to talk about real topics. So if you do have a side hustle, or, you know some programs to get started, and I think that's the biggest issue, is that it's such a lonely world when you're trying to do a side hustle or a main hustle that is creative, and you're always gonna have your friends that are like, oh, is that a good idea, or dismissive of oh yeah, Jim started this and whatever, he's doing some weird thing, and you're like, no man, I'm dedicating my entire day to this.
Yeah,
even if it's gaming or whatever, if you're trying to make even a gaming stream on Twitch happen, that's still work. Okay, there's a lot of back end work to that. You got your little follower goals, your subscriptions, moo bots, all these cameras that don't just appear. You got to learn about OBS. You got to learn. This is all that I've learned in the last couple of months.
I know.
It's crazy.
But I think too, whenever you're choosing to follow your passion, even if that's doing data science or something random, to other people, it's going to be random and weird. You're like, why would you study that? Whatever. But to other people that are in the same industry or understand it or whatever, you're going to click with them and you're going to feed off of that and you're going to build it more. So if you share your idea with people and they don't get it, just find others that do. That's all I can say.
He's like, sorry, I forget that it's so far. Wait, what did you say? Hopefully the YouTube channel will help decrease that noise. I know.
He was saying you don't want to get to know a lot of people on here, and I was like, yeah, I figured.
I know. Facebook
Live. I feel like Facebook now, though, is just all my, old relatives. It's just, my grandma, my great aunt, my aunt, it's just family. And
Yeah, Smash. We're not gonna lie. We probably have, I know we only have 6 viewers right now, but 1, we probably have 6 interested viewers that actually care about what the heck we're talking about. But 2, I think I've had more viewers on this than any time I've been on live. I don't know. It's just not. I mean, maybe Instagram Live.
Well, I think it's because this platform's made for live. You know what I mean?
Which I appreciate, because that's the purpose of what we're doing.
Instagram's made for ads and stories now, mostly.
Or short attention spans.
Oh my god, my skin's so sensitive. I scratch myself and it's super red.
Red?
I know, it's you're super. And then I think Facebook now, just for keeping in touch with family and just seeing updates on people's lives whenever they do a random photo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, I don't know. I think it would be cool to do the YouTube thing. I think YouTube also has a live option, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does have a live option.
Yeah. So that's one thing.
And you can chat there too.
Yeah. But we wanted to try Twitch because it's a new platform and it's a little different.
It's not a new platform. It's a new platform for this.
Yeah. It's a new platform for this, but we're still kind of trial and erroring it and kind of just seeing if it works for what our main goal is. We've noticed other people that we know don't really use it either, so that was kind of but we'll see.
They're making moves.
Oh.
Do some research on Facebook gaming. I'm gonna say it out loud for anyone who's not looking at the chat. Do some research on Facebook gaming. They bought Mixer and making moves. So basically after this segment ends, because we live in different cities and we're hella busy, Yes, we have our businesses, but she's also in grad school.
Oh yeah.
Casual, you know.
I'm
she's
studying
moving.
acupuncture, which is where like the wellness part comes in.
So we're dedicating today to kind of, do research on our Twitch. So basically, we're really gonna take it like super seriously in after the new year because she graduates. So right now it's like a little crazy, and we just want to keep it going, but we haven't done the whole like branding.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah.
What's up? And then, for me, it's like getting to Christmas, and that's when my party kids. It's party kid time for me. So, we're definitely. Thank you for all of those thoughts, honestly, because you're in the world. And I know you said you tried it for a minute, but if you ever do want to try it again, I'm sure he's talking about doing his own gaming channel.
Oh.
But
I didn't
honestly,
see
I
that
was
part
watching
in
this
the
one
past.
girl, and it's maybe because she's hot. Maybe that's what it is. But she had only been doing it for like 100 days. She had a 100-day live stream, and she was like, she had like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I'm like, you've only been doing this for 100 days? Like,
Yeah.
what? That's like 3 months. Twitter, do you have a Twitter? I've never been a Twitter person. I like looking at it, but is that a thing? Tell us if that's a thing. Like, should we get a Twitter?
I know.
So, again, we are not experts. We just want to be here as a community. So I'd like to reiterate
We're
that.
millennials
So,
that like have never really liked technology.
dude,
So I think that's been our biggest like
learning curve.
obstacle is that we
Obstacle.
just don't really like it. And I think it's because we're creative or like we like more hands-on stuff, so it feels like a little disconnected to just always be through the phone. You know?
It's very hard because we do so much that it's hard to document everything.
That
we
too.
do.
Or like what do you know to document versus not? You know what I mean? Because it's like
Right.
we do like 20 things a day. Everyone does probably, but
Yeah.
like in a different way. So when it comes to Twitter, I don't really know what it's about or what the purpose of it is.
It's just quick snippets.
It's just
I would
like
say
a
quick snippets.
thought you share with people.
Thoughts or quick news or quick it's not like you can write a ton, but you can put photos and videos now, like links.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Chris checks it like literally every day. I feel like it's current too,
Like for
everything
news.
that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And even if it's ridiculous, like we have like Nashville PD on it just because we like to hear about the latest news. Like, what's going on in Nashville? Nothing is going on in Nashville. It'll be like a riot of 3 people. For news and stuff. Yeah. Twitter.
Yeah, I feel like it's valuable for
Oh,
that. I
network.
would probably want to use it for that too.
Let's add that to our list. We have an agenda, so I'm gonna add everything you just said.
Mortgage underwriting. What is that?
Oh, I didn't read your other.
He doesn't want to start a gaming channel. I don't
Oh,
know.
sorry.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
know what. I build gaming PCs on the side, and my main job is mortgage underwriting, so not much time anymore. But I like the idea.
I think it was like when you mentioned that idea.
Right, of doing the site. Yeah. Honestly,
I feel like everyone nowadays just has multiple things they're doing. Like no one's just
Yeah.
doing one thing. So I think that's also part of why we
life
created
is too
this.
short. I'm not even talking about this because she thinks life is long. But I think life is too short to just do one
That's a
thing.
whole separate.
That's a separate Twitch stream. Once for her birthday, I made her a banner. Instead of happy birthday, I wrote life is long, just to be horrible.
It's like a philosophical debate that I've had.
No, don't say it's super boring. Oh my gosh.
When you buy a house, there's a person that makes sure the investor can buy the loan. Oh.
Yeah, like an underwriter for like a radio station would be like all the supporters, investors.
Okay,
That makes
okay.
sense. We're very into like the arts world. So
I just
please
wish,
educate us.
like as kids growing up, that we had we had just a full list or like guide on like all the different types of jobs you could have. You know what I mean? I feel like when you're young, you just think of like a firefighter, a lawyer, a doctor, and then as you get older, you're like, oh, there's a million options. I
Yeah.
just don't know of any of them. Like I have to find them somehow. and see if like they make decent money or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then in that journey, you find all these random things, but not that that's random. You could have a background in it or whatever. I'm not saying that. But as a kid or as a person, like, you don't think of certain jobs like that, or jobs I've had even, where I'm just like, I wish I would have known about this. Or
well, yeah, even my Geraldine, our friend's job, is great. It pays so well, and I feel like if I would have known about that when we were in high school, maybe I would have gone in that direction.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So, kudos to you. One of the things that Sims spent 1 million hours just setting up houses. I mean, I feel like that was your destiny then.
Yep.
You built your way to this.
But the Sims should have, like, mentioned, like, do you want to be a mortgage underwriter one
Yeah.
day?
Job
Here are potential
possibilities.
job options in the industry of housing.
You know, I feel like when you play the game of life, it's so misleading because it's like you have to have all these babies and then you have all these cars and houses.
The wrong way to go.
What? And then your career options are like barber.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I could use a good haircut, right?
I feel like being a barber is like an art. I feel like it's
That
so
is an art.
creative.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Or being like a salon person too.
That's so funny that you were saying when you were a kid. Like, I feel like our childhood, like, really steers us. I mean, when I only have a party kit business because when I was a kid, I got into event planning because when I was a kid, like, I just planned all my own birthday parties.
No,
But like
she was-
this.
She was different.
But I would assign my mother, I'm like, Mom, you're in charge of food. Dad, you need to help me decorate. All right. And then I would tell like my friends' moms, I'd be like, you're collecting tickets at the door. I'm like freaking like 12 years old. I'm like assigning my friends' moms
She
jobs.
is not exaggerating.
Well, because my mom doesn't celebrate anything. Like, I don't know
Meanwhile,
what's wrong
I
with her.
avoided birthday parties like the plague.
Yeah.
Like, I had such bad anxiety with anything social that I never went to any birthday parties. Quinceañeras, nothing. The cat was there, like.
But I think also because of her childhood, eating dry ramen.
I had a really bad childhood.
Eating dry ramen.
Bad
she's
is like the censored word I'm using, but there's a million others I'd like to use.
It was a unique childhood.
Yes.
In the dramatically scarring sense.
Yeah.
But the lighter sense of dry ramen. So because she was eating dry ramen all the time, she's now super
I'm very
into
resourceful.
and holistic. I feel like
Holistic, yeah.
you're very into eating well now because of that.
Yeah.
And then you got into this other lifestyle. So it's so funny that you say that. I'd totally be a professional cook. Dude, you can always be a cook. Or do that, or they, whoever you are.
Somehow I can see you doing that. I don't know if you're talking about you. I feel like I can see us both being a cook somehow. But I do have a baking business.
You
It's called
see what
Banana
I mean?
Bites.
Smash. Look at that right now. That comment before freaking hate it.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know. See, this is.
But I
me
feel like
all
they do
day.
that on purpose to make you stop talking about what you want to talk about. So that's why I try not to pay attention to it. Anyway, yeah, I have a baking business, so it's kind of related to cooking. She's actually really good at cooking. She follows recipes and stuff. And
I
she's
follow
really-
recipes, but I'm not good at cooking.
She's very thorough with it, to where when she executes it, it's like perfect. I like throw shit together and like hope it tastes good. And then if not, I'm like, oh, okay, next time I'll just do that.
But you know, okay, sorry. Can I have a quick cooking story or a chef story? Was this guy I used to work in a restaurant, as I just mentioned earlier, but I used to work in a Thai restaurant. I'm half Thai, and thank you for the best. You're invited every time. Please come back every time. I used to work in a Thai restaurant, whatever, and this guy had just come from Thailand. The English was like very minimal, and I feel like he only stuck to his clique of Thai friends. And he was a music major in Thailand, so he came here and he was like working in a restaurant just to try to figure his way out. And all of a sudden, he took like the TOEFL to like pass the English exam, whatever, and he applied into culinary school, in New York, and like went to New York. All of a sudden, after culinary school, I don't know why I keep saying cooking school. Like, it was like 2 years, maybe 2 to 4 years, I don't know. I kind of fell off the Instagram, social media for a while there. Practices English. And in just like a short amount, to me that's a short amount of time, to go from someone who had been doing music their whole life, moved to another country, didn't speak the language,
Right.
in just that amount of time, open a restaurant in Manhattan, or South Houston, somewhere like right in like Maine there. John Legend goes there. It's like all over the New York Times. Now he's on his like 4th restaurant, and I think it's only been a total of like 6 years now.
That's crazy.
Like, what? In that amount of time? I'm like, that is so short, dude.
Yeah.
6 years. Like, so anyway, to me it was just amazing because, I mean, I knew him as like, he was like playing guitar. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, and now you're like mad chef of whatever
Yeah.
with like a bunch of Thai restaurants. So, but like cool Thai restaurants, I'm saying, not like questionable decor Thai restaurant.
Right. I love those success stories too, because you see like the path, or I mean, especially if you knew them, you can actually see like where they started and where they ended up. But
it's kind of amazing. So, but I think it's plugging away at it. Like, I'm sure there were days that man was probably like, I don't want to look at another fish.
Right. Yeah.
So, but now he's like exploring Thailand, going to rice farms, trying to find better rice or whatever. So I'm like, good for you, man. I know. I agree with you. But also, I feel like the thing with, sorry, I'm like half reading, half talking. Yes. You know, I feel like my mom struggles with that, where...
What is that random thing there? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it's like a tag. I'm Twitch babies.
I'm sorry, I'm not wearing glasses, so I have to, every time I have to be like,
someone asked what
Let's go
sectors,
backwards a little bit.
what sectors are both of you involved in? So we kind of touched on it a little bit. It's kind of all over the place, but my background is in alternative medicine. In like a broad sense. Herbal medicine, acupuncture, which I'm currently in graduate school for now, and will be doing next year. And also just like healthy eating, and I have a baking business called Botana Bites, but it just specializes in mini muffins that have herbs. So they're functional.
They're not weed muffins. Relax.
Not those kind of herbs. Yeah. So just more holistic ways of living and being and approaching your health. And then Kat.
I'm the party lifestyle person. But I think both of us have, so I have an online party kit store. I was in event planning, but then got laid off, so here we are.
She's also a wedding planner.
Just the party life. But both of us have like other backgrounds because we've done so much stuff, and that's why we're here. And
she also did music and theater in high school. I did photography.
Yeah. So we're just all over the place. But then we're also very like into, you know, she does the Instacart thing. She's in grad school. It's like we're
both very productive people, so I guess that's where like our common interests kind of are. And we like to think a lot and like propose theories and all this like stuff.
And we just want to get you moving if we do anything. So to go back to, that's a good one. Have any extremely controversial thoughts on the upcoming vaccine?
I assume that's meant for me more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should go into all this.
Just keep it like surface level.
It's gonna be Scott doing it mode.
Oh. Well, we're happy that Biden.
My father, like my biological father, is kind of nuts, and he's kind of like a conspiracy theorist. He's a little schizophrenic and just kind of all over the place. But it's like rooted in passion and research and stuff. So whenever I approach these kind of topics like vaccines and other things that can involve multiple viewpoints and conspiracy stuff, it's a whole other conversation. So I personally will not do it, and I think I'm mostly just pro-choice. If that's something that you want to do, then go for it. That's all I'll say. The person asked what we think of the upcoming vaccine. I'm assuming for like the COVID thing, this looming thing that's been such a huge theme in our lives for some mysterious reason. So I don't think I will do it. Actually, I know I won't do it, and I will fight it if I have to. But if other people want to do it, I don't care. That's totally fine.
Yeah, to each their own. And I think she's changed a lot in this thought, because I feel like before it used to be more like solely, you know, like homeopathic, holistic solutions. And she's gone through a lot in terms of like dealing with other people being sick and not even having a solution for it. So she's trying to find all these holistic ways, and that, I think that pushed you into it even more. But
just always research, like always know what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
That's the least you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
Like you owe that to yourself. That you owe that to your body. You owe that to your soul. Like you have to just take care of yourself. And I think number one in that is like looking into how everything affects you, especially the food or a vaccine especially. And I think it helps for us to demand information and more trials or whatever it is from these other people that are pushing these things, because it allows them to kind of show up in a better way for us. Because there's a lot of things that they're just trying out, and then years down the road you find out it was horrible for us. Yeah. But that's already after some deaths have happened or some crazy issues that they never expected. So I mean,
you'll never know. I mean,
you'll never know. So you kind of have to go through that period. So if there are people that are okay with taking these vaccines and they're fine with it, then that's okay. Then we'll learn more about it through them, and that's fine. So that's why, again, pro-choice. Do whatever you think is best for you.
I also think like if it's gonna cause you no anxiety to do it, rather than you're just sitting at home and you can't move on with your life because
you're worried and afraid, and like, then do what's best for you and just do it. Yeah. So I think it's just what
we're big productivity fans.
And everyone's so different. Like nothing is correct for anyone else except yourself. So
yeah. So I guess it's not extremely controversial to answer your question, but I also think this year has been such, I don't know, I guess because my mom is in Thailand currently, so I see how the other side of the world, at least in Thailand, is living, and it's not a thing. It's not a thing there, and it sucks that it's a thing here, and that we've had to lose our jobs and not be able to go out or do anything. But honestly, even doing Instacart, like, we have our masks on, like, we need to keep going. Like, and if a vaccine makes you happy, do it. If it doesn't make you happy, don't do it. But you need to keep going. Like, be safe, but what is this life?
Yeah.
I'm over it. Like, I'm over it. And I say I'm over it, but it's not like I'm walking around, like, hugging everybody, But I was going to work in the middle of the pandemic, and, I almost felt safer at work because there were hand sanitizers everywhere. We had to wear a mask all the time. We kept our distance. Then if I went to Publix after work, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I might get it from just being next to this weird lady. Like, so,
yeah.
It's just, in terms of vaccines.
Yeah. I was working at an urgent care, and I remember, feeling safe there, too, because they had all the PPE, and they had all the, precautions and stuff, and, kind of the knowledge, because I was working with doctors or whatever, but,
I guess if you're not going to do it, just take the precautions.
Yeah.
But
so many people have so many reasons for doing everything they do. Like, who are you to say that they're wrong or that they should do it differently? Like, they could have had a family member die from a crazy disease that they never got a vaccine for. So now for them, vaccines are number one priority because they had a, close member of their family die from something that wasn't treated. So, you can't say that they shouldn't have a vaccine then. Like, they have a personal, deep reason. You can't deny that in other people. So.
I mean, in general, just because my mom's on the Western medicine side.
Right.
And we talk about this all the time because my mom has been so Western medicine my entire life. Like, I'll, sneeze, and she's like, take this! Take this pill! And then when I lived with Sasha for, a year and a half, 2 years, I really transitioned to the alternative answers if I could,
Yeah.
But I do find a value in vaccines if it has been tested, because people in the past, I was watching something that where people in the past would die from a cut, just a cut on their hand, because there was no way to disinfect it.
Right.
And imagine how many cuts we've already had at this point in our lives. So I do value the progress, but if it's not necessary, then, so. But, wow. That's crazy, Smash.
There's a good podcast, too, that I heard by this girl, Organic Olivia. She has, an herbal company, and both of her parents got COVID as well, but they both had, a totally different way of treating it at the hospitals they were at because they went to 2 different hospitals. So it was, super interesting to learn about through, what she shared. you can look it up on her podcast. It's like one of the ones called COVID Story or something. But she talks like in detail about every step of the way. And she has an herbal background, so obviously she was more mindful of like more natural things, but obviously she was trusting the hospital and wanted them to do what they needed to do. But it was interesting to see because this was the beginning of the pandemic when they weren't sure how to treat it, and they were kind of just trial and erroring it, and both hospitals did it differently, so she kind of had to see like both ways or options and seeing which one worked better. So it's really interesting. And because of that, like I feel like there will be options for treating it, whether it's a vaccine to prevent it or attempt to prevent it from getting to you, or an actual like remedy for it. Not that there really, will be. I just feel like take your vitamin C, drink a lot of water, and make sure your immune system is healthy, because even if you have a vaccine and all this stuff, like if you are not healthy, you're still going to be susceptible to getting it. So I just, like, we got to take some agency and, like, you know what I mean, ownership of ourselves, and not just rely on these external things that are supposed to protect us and save us. Like, we save us, not all that stuff. Like,
yeah, and if you handle other aspects of your life, like I feel like a lot of things are inflated, because you're like, maybe you're struggling with money right now, and you lost your job, and maybe you had to move because of that, and you have to worry about not getting sick. Like, what you can't control is the other three. Yeah, you can't get your job back maybe right now, but you can find alternatives to making money, and I hope like this kind of platform would encourage you to know that it's okay and there's other ways to make money. Maybe it's not ideal, but maybe the job you had before wasn't ideal anyway. You know?
I believe everything that happens to us is meant to happen to us. Like, and I think you have to believe that, so that you're not resisting and fighting something that you're in. Just accept it and move with it. Like, whatever's on the other side that's what you were supposed to get. But I think too, a lot of the advantage of being around during this time is there are so many side gigs and side hustles and other ways to make money.
Imagine if this was like, the 60s.
Yeah.
Well, we probably would just be like at sit-ins all the time. But I mean, I guess to me, in Thailand, like, it's not like corporate America, Everyone has their own side gig. Like, there are ladies, that set up selling flip-flops on the street, and if she makes a certain amount a day, she can continue her life. Not that that's ideal, but I mean, I just don't know what that country would handle, like how they would handle the COVID taking over like that, because I mean, they have that down. Like, they don't even have it anymore. So, but people, like, I would say like a good 70% of the country has their own business, like small business. Yeah. So it's normal, like.
And it's easy. Not easy, but, like, accessible. Like, I think in our country especially, we're very blessed and gifted because, like, internet and devices and everything is a lot easier to have access to. Yeah. And that changes everything. Yeah. I mean, that in itself changes everything. It gives you so many options that other people probably don't have.
We're used to comfort, And it's kind of like, if you don't have enough money right now, I agree. I mean, I can relate to you. But get a roommate, if you're living by yourself. It's not ideal, but it's better than struggling, So I guess, like, we're very big on finding solutions.
Yes, but, like, in the past, you had to, like, look at a newspaper to find a place. But now there's so many different ways of finding apartments or finding roommates. Like, that it's not as difficult as I think it used to be. And I think we forget that part. But it's, like, we're so lucky.
So just to touch on this last part, and then we got to go, because we need to keep going with our photo shoot. But it's funny, so the last thing he said here was, it's super impressive that you both have different backgrounds and can respect each other's conclusions. And I'm only going to bring that up not to be like, oh my gosh, we're great, but part of why we wanted to do this was because we're so different, and I feel like this year was such a big year of, like, everyone pointing out each other's differences, and it's either you're with them or with us, like, even with BLM, polarization is such a huge thing. Even the election, and
which just means you are, like, hyper passionate or involved in one thing, and that's never good. It's never good.
Yeah. And I know it sounds like so hunky dory, like, if we just accept everybody, then things will be easier. But it's also knowing that not everyone will accept everybody and being okay with that. Not being okay with them taking action on not accepting everybody. But, you know, my mom is never gonna like some of my friends. She never is. So, I mean, as long as she isn't like going around hitting my friends, then, you know, I'm just gonna have to live with it. Yeah, no violence. But anyway, the point is, like, we're so different, and we went to high school together, and we weren't close in high school. We had classes together, but, I mean, she was definitely cool hippie kid, and I was, like, band nerd. So, I mean...
She also was, I always say this, but she was Snoopy in a play. I thought it was so fitting. It was so fitting. It was just so fitting. Sorry.
Yeah, no, this girl would always have, like, a cool camera.
I feel like I thought that was so cool. Like, I feel like that was one of the times, I think, that I went to see the play. I don't think I saw many others, but I went to that one. And I just remember thinking that was so cool, that, like, I don't know.
And I was a dog.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's a good, like, a diverse character to play, if that makes sense.
That was a very fun character. And I will say, out of that entire, if you guys have ever seen You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, the musical, there's only, like, 6 characters in it. And I got Snoopy, but I thought it was because it was so funny. So, like, Snoopy talks to himself, and he talks to the audience.
So she had all these, like, monologues.
Monologues by myself to the audience, because obviously he's not going to talk to the other characters.
But I feel like in the way you delivered them, they were, like, so dramatic that, like, you felt Snoopy's personality. Like, in the actual show, Snoopy doesn't, he's just kind of there. But you, like, I don't know. Whatever.
There was a lot of pizzazz to the character. But anyway, but yeah, and then we went to college together for 2 years, and then
but we still weren't close.
We still weren't close. Like, we would hang out again.
Like, a couple times, but not, like, yeah.
It was kind of crazy.
I know.
And then something just, I don't know what happened. And then we just...
No, and then I was like this. I, like, latched on, like, a real cancer.
Not
like a toxic cancer. I'm a cancer
Cancer sign, thank you. Not like a cancer. What the hell? So, but she taught me a lot. I mean, I feel like I used to be very judgmental when I was younger.
Yeah, me too. I think we both have that in common.
And hope to see you soon as well, Smash. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna wrap it up, so we'll be back next time. I think we're also gonna do kind of like a funny intro thing, because I mean, we're here for business, but I feel like if you knew more about us, there's such a variety of topics we could talk about that could help you. And this helps us too. You know, we're here because if we say what we did this week and what we were gonna do, I feel like it brings it to life. You know,
yes.
like now I know what I'm gonna do, and I'm like, okay, we gotta finish the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Like,
which we did want to do, like, a segment of this on, like, weekly goals and kind of, like, touch on what our goals for the week would be, which we end up just talking so much about other things through conversation, which was our main goal anyway, of this, that we don't really get to that part. But
yeah,
I think it still helps to get us in the mindset, and that's why we do it on Mondays, and, like, try to also have other people involved so that it can kind of just get your gears going.
Yeah.
Like, now you're just thinking all this crazy shit. Or not crazy shit, you're just like, yeah, start my week, do this, do that.
Final note, if anyone is still watching and you do run across the documentary about me and Sasha, it's like 20 minutes long, it's actually really stupidly hilarious. We are not lovers. I just want to note that, because the beginning of that documentary is questionable through editing.
The way he designed
through
it.
the edit.
Yeah.
But it is a fun watch. But yeah, so we'll be back next Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be uploading some of these segments to YouTube through later today when we're working on our Sasha and the cat stuff.
And don't forget to slay all day.
And don't forget to follow us. Follow us,
that
please.
too.
What is? Okay. Anyway, we gotta go. Yay.
Yay!
Awesome. All right. Bye, team.
You might help us with the Discord at some point.
Oh, wait, and I forgot to say it at the end of the time. If you guys have any other questions that you want us to talk about next Monday, feel free to email us at AskSashaAndTheCat with a C, capital C, at Gmail. So that's ask a question, Sasha and the Cat at Gmail. Bye.